Oh my goodness. November 24th, 2021 at 11:50 p.m. So, with it being Thanks Eve, of course, I'm not going to say Thanksgiving because they took the land, but I'm going to read all that to you in just a second. Yeah, with it being 10 minutes to midnight, let me go ahead and read you. Let's say you're a family member of mine, or you're in my close circle, or you know me, or you have heard of me, or whatever, but then I send this to my nephew, and then I forward it to some other folks, but I am the Reverend Dr. Brother Richard Wilton Arthur Jr. I see myself as divine energy. And what I text my nephew was this. I'm sharing because I am that I am. My nephew, what I sent to my teacher, Master Heege Robinson. Thank you, Master Heege, for sharing such training. I'm definitely floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. Classical, traditional learning with you about meditation and movement, Tai Chi Chuan, has evolved my seeing myself with so much spiritual clarity. Wow. All this divinity is interwoven in my DNA. And of course I use the DNA emoji. I must stay innocent as a child and know Tao is latent, still, dormant in my constant awareness universally. Be void. Thank you for giving to me substantial and insubstantial, teaching me what those who originally inhabited this land knew centuries before. The book, They Came Before Columbus, by Ivan Van Sertima. Happy Thanksgiving, Reverend Dr. Brother Richard Wilton Arthur Jr. Amen Ra. Yes, I'm a rising sun in the east, a child of the sun. The Source, Roxbury Tai Chi Academy. For you, youngster, saying to my nephew, because all this is in the text to my nephew, I'm including we are biological living light, melanin dominant, with liquid in the first eye, vision seeing all four directions, inside and outside, allowing self to be balanced with the surface of the earth. Water never tilts. As the original people and not a mutation of the original. What would you expect from Melanin Man that walks the avenues of quote-unquote New England with the British flag that has a red crucifix through it, in the United Snakes, emoji of a snake, of America, 3Ks, America, feeling the ancestral energies of the third planet away from the sun. Being my mother's son, I don't think she would accept anything less from her child. I'm giving thanks. Look at that 3. Trinity represents femininity, the female, the womb. One way it's breast, the other way is gluteus maximus. Okay, but. And humanity is the womb squirt. The middle of the 3. 3 is also half DNA, an 8. Or an upper sphere and a lower sphere. The Aramaic drawings of digits have significance in various connotations. So as Brother RA, and knowing Amen-Ra is the sun god rising in the east, and that's represented by the number 7, a right angle at the top of the stem. Yes, your uncle is a rising sun, irregardless of the societal value structure of dead slaveholders being more valuable than one's mind, and how humanity is trained to think. I am divine energies flung from divinity. I have to deal with human nonsense. We look at the land. We took the land. Now we give it a holy day. And after, thanks for taking our land, you're going to give us a Niggah. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean a Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving. How would you feel as a 21-year-old being related to me getting that shit? I would love to show you some meditation and movement dance. I haven't been able to do the nonverbal sermon communication just in the movement. But I might try to squeeze some in. The problem is my iPad needs to have audio to keep the recording going. So if I shut up for too long, it's automatically going to cut me off. So I might have to talk through some of the dance. And the dance is definitely igniting a switch in my mind so that I can see all of my divine, substantial, and insubstantial. 9 minutes in, I made reference to 8 being half, or being the symbol for DNA, but 9 is, can we reach that full sphere at the top of the stem, understanding substantial and insubstantial? And then 9 is just before the 10, which is a 1, a bottom, middle, and top, or an I, a bottom, middle, and top, and a full sphere next to it. align with no beginning and no end. So can an individual become an undivided individual, being that one, understanding their bottom, middle, and top, and then also ascertain that one line of thought with no beginning and no end? And you could see yourself as infinity. Is that universality, consciousness, thought process above and beyond a dead slaveholder image on cotton fibers and wood chips? And how was that cotton gotten? And Nana left South Carolina because trying to get in there and get the cotton out? Just thinking out loud, sharing at 11 minutes in, understanding that one and one, the balance of my denotative, connotative, and absolute abstract, and pulling the digits and the means of communication all into a motion or a movement of 108 different postures shown to me by Master Heed. And I'm giving thanks to Master Heed and sharing such a level of consciousness. And of course, you know, I'm the extreme perfectionist, and I gotta, wait a minute, oh, time out. So I've learned to be light as a feather in my life. That's an exercise. Oh my God. Making your whole arms come down into you, go down to the ground. I mean, that's making an ankh. And you go all the way down. I'll shut up. No more teaching of that. I have to share knowledge and information of the rethinking of your own individual spirituality. Mind over matter. What you think matters. That's why there's propaganda and control of the public mind. We're talking about, even Noam Chomsky talked about, so if I can control your thought process, I can control, I believe the news is real, and I can't enter the surreal. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to try to work on this segment, get this complete, 13 minutes in. I get about a minute and a half left. YouTube only gives me 14 minutes, 15 minutes, you get cut off. Having issues with technology sharing this kind of information. So got kicked off of 4 radio stations, trying to elevate consciousness and spirituality and seeing self as a divine energy. But I'm not going to stop. As Davy Dave says, keep the momentum going. And as George Clinton says, think is not illegal yet, or is it already illegal? You gotta wear a face mask inside the building. Oh yeah, we created a biological disease that can... No, you haven't figured out the powers of the mind as not an original. I'm an original melanin man, biological living light, a child of the sun. That's why when you did 40 acres of skin experimentation, that didn't work. And here, since I knocked the shirt down here, what's this say? Read this real quick. Great lawgiver, mass murderer. And this is Numbers 31. And Moses said that. Who's a leader? Oh, you shouldn't be telling Brother RA any good information. I could be a cult leader. Thank you, Cousin Danny, for that nonsense. But yeah, be careful with the methodical, mathematical divinity mind.